Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books.
A variety of books.
Let's get started today. We are diving deep into Emily Henry's Happy Place. And it seems like you're really interested in getting a clear sense of the story's timeline.
Timeline.
You're going to take a chronological journey through Harriet and Wynn's relationship, starting from their very first meeting.
So kind of unpack it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Place jumps back and forth between the past and the present. So
Okay.
getting a clear chronological order can really help you appreciate the depth of the characters and their motivations.
All right, let's rewind to 6 years ago.
Okay.
Picture this lobster fest in full swing at this charming cottage in Maine. Harriet arrives with her then-boyfriend, Hudson,
With Hudson,
and that's when she first meets Wynn.
that's the meet cute.
Yeah.
It's interesting because although Harriet is there with someone else, Henry subtly hints at an instant connection between her and Wynn. There's a spark in their initial interactions, especially during a moment when Wynn jokingly admits to finding Hudson too handsome.
Oh, you picked up on that too.
Yeah,
It's like their connection is simmering beneath the surface even though they're just part of a larger group of friends.
exactly. And over the next couple of summers, their bond deepens
Mm-hmm.
through shared jokes, late-night talks, and a growing sense of comfort in each other's company.
Okay, so fast forward to a pivotal moment. A game of sardines in the cottage's dimly lit wine cellar.
Ooh, a classic.
Harriet and Wynn find themselves hidden together, surrounded by darkness and the scent of expensive wine. You can practically feel the tension building.
The atmosphere is electric.
Yeah.
And that's where their relationship takes a definitive turn, their first kiss.
Uh-huh.
It's a game changer that shifts their dynamic from friendship to romance.
It's like all those unspoken feelings finally bubble to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we follow them to New York City where they navigate life as a couple.
Yeah.
We get glimpses into their everyday routines. Like Wynn bringing Harriet those vending machine treats while they were both studying.
Oh, so sweet.
It's a small detail,
Yeah.
but it really highlights how well they know each other.
Right? Absolutely. Those little gestures speak volumes. This period in New York represents a time of stability and happiness for them.
Yeah.
They're building a life together, supporting each other's dreams, and genuinely seem content.
Which makes what comes next even more heartbreaking.
Right.
Their seemingly perfect relationship implodes.
Oh.
The story doesn't explicitly reveal why they broke up, leaving us to piece together clues from Harriet's guilt and Wynn's distant behavior.
The breakup is shrouded in mystery,
Yeah.
which keeps us on the edge of our seats trying to figure out what went wrong.
Right.
We know Wynn accuses Harriet of not understanding him, adding another layer of complexity to their fractured relationship.
It's almost as if they're both holding back, unwilling or unable to fully confront the reasons behind their separation.
Right.
And to make matters even more complicated, we learn that Wynn went back to his family in Montana after the breakup.
Yes, and Wynn's time in Montana is revealing.
Hmm.
We see a different side of him. He seems more grounded, more connected to his roots. It's like he's found a sense of peace and purpose back home.
Right. And it's through his interactions with his father, Hank, that we learn more about the values he holds dear: a love for craftsmanship, a quiet strength, a deep sense of family.
Mm-hmm.
These qualities are central to Wynn's character, even if they weren't always apparent in his relationship with Harriet.
And then back in the present, we find Harriet and Wynn reunited at the Maine cottage for their annual friend group vacation. But here's the twist. They've been pretending to still be engaged for the sake of their friends.
Talk about starting a vacation with some serious baggage.
Right?
It's like they're trapped in this charade,
Yeah.
trying to maintain the facade of their happy past while their unresolved issues simmer beneath the surface.
The Happy Place setting becomes ironic.
Oh, very much so.
They're surrounded by friends, laughter, and beautiful scenery. But both Harriet and Wynn are carrying this heavy secret, which creates a palpable tension throughout the week.
And as the days go by, their suppressed emotions start to unravel. During a heated exchange in the bathroom,
Uh-oh.
years of unspoken hurt and resentment pour out.
It's a raw and vulnerable moment
Yeah.
where they're forced to acknowledge the lingering feelings they still have for each other.
Hmm.
They're angry, they're heartbroken, but there's also a glimmer of hope in their confrontation, a recognition that their story might not be over just yet.
It's a powerful scene, and it sets the stage for the emotional roller coaster that's about to unfold.
But just when you think things couldn't get any more complicated, Wynn drops a bomb. He reveals that he's been seeing someone else.
Adding fuel to the fire.
Right.
And he even brings up a specific incident claiming he saw Harriet with another guy at a bar in San Francisco. This accusation throws everything into question. leaving us wondering about the validity of his claims and the true reasons behind their breakup.
Exactly. It's like a puzzle
Yeah.
where each piece we uncover creates more questions than answers.
Right.
And as their past and present collide, the stakes get higher, the secrets deeper, and the tension between Harriet and Wynne becomes almost unbearable.
Okay, so that brings us to the ends of the first major chunk of their timeline.
Okay.
We've gone from their charming meet-cute at Lobster Fest to a passionate romance, a devastating breakup, and now this shocking revelation about Wynne seeing someone else. Talk about a whirlwind.
Yes. And what we've covered so far sets the stage for the emotional complexities and personal growth that will unfold in the rest of Happy Place. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Buckle up.
Yeah. As we dive into the next part of the story, it's fascinating how Emily Henry weaves in the dynamics of the friend group alongside Harriet and Wynne's individual struggles. It's not just a romantic roller coaster. We also get to explore the complexities of friendship loyalty and how those relationships evolve over time.
It's true. You start to see cracks in the seemingly perfect facade of this group of friends. Sabrina especially is going through a lot. Her dad is selling the beloved cottage, and she's dealing with the pressure of planning a wedding while feeling increasingly distant from her friends.
It's as if Sabrina is clinging to this idea of their shared happy place.
Right.
But the reality is that they are all changing and growing in different directions. Her anxieties really resonate with the universal fear of losing something precious, whether it's a physical space like the cottage or the cherished bonds of friendship.
Exactly. And the tension isn't limited to Sabrina. We see Cleo struggling with jealousy over Kimmy's carefree nature, which puts a strain on their relationship. Even Parth, who usually acts as the peacemaker, seems to be feeling the weight of these shifting dynamics.
The wedding festivities themselves become a microcosm of their anxieties.
Really?
We have the chaotic bachelorette/bachelor party, complete with Kimmy's unregulated weed gummies and the disastrous Ferris wheel ride.
Oh my gosh.
These scenes are funny and cringeworthy, but they also highlight the underlying tensions simmering beneath the surface.
And then things really come to a head when Cleo and Sabrina have an explosive argument, airing years of unspoken frustrations. Cleo feels like Sabrina has been shutting her out, while Sabrina feels like she's the only one putting in the effort to keep the group together.
This fight marks a turning point for the group. It forces them to confront the fact that things can't stay the same forever.
Right.
People change, priorities shift, and even the strongest friendships need to adapt in order to survive.
It's a messy and painful realization for everyone involved. And amidst all this drama, Harriet finds herself drawn to a pottery studio in town. It's a place she used to visit, and it becomes her sanctuary, offering a sense of peace and a chance to reconnect with her creative side.
The pottery studio becomes symbolic for Harriet. Remember, she's a surgeon, a profession that demands precision and control. Working with clay allows her to tap into a different kind of expression, to find a sense of release and explore a side of herself that she might have suppressed for a while.
It's like she's rediscovering a lost part of herself.
Right.
Embracing a different kind of flow.
Yeah.
And allowing herself to be more vulnerable and intuitive.
And guess who shows up at the pottery studio?
Who?
Wynne. He sees her working with the clay, and there's a sense that he's seeing her in a new light, appreciating her passion and creativity in a way he perhaps didn't before.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
It's like he's finally understanding a deeper part of hers, seeing beyond the driven, ambitious surgeon to the artist within.
And as they reconnect in this creative space, you can feel a shift in their dynamic. There's a tentative sense of understanding, a willingness to see each other with fresh eyes. But the reality is, Wynne is still planning on leaving for Montana, and Harriet chooses to stay in Maine with her friends. It's a bittersweet moment, filled with uncertainty and a sense of things ending.
Right. And it's as if they're both at a crossroads, trying to figure out what they truly want and where their paths are leading them. But before we delve deeper into their present-day struggles, I think it's important to go back and fill in some of the blanks about their past.
Yes. Let's rewind to that summer, after their first kiss in the wine cellar. They embarked on a secret relationship, spending stolen moments, exploring hidden coves, and falling deeper in love. Emily Henry beautifully captures the intensity and joy of that summer, highlighting the depth of their connection.
It's like a fairy tale romance filled with stolen glances, whispered promises, and a sense of pure, unadulterated bliss. It makes their eventual breakup all the more heartbreaking knowing the intensity of what they had.
And their happiness continues as they move to New York City with their friends. We see them navigate the challenges of grad school, find an apartment together, and build a life that seems both exciting and fulfilling.
There's this montage of their everyday moments cooking dinner together,
Yeah.
supporting each other through exams, laughing over silly jokes, and it's a stark contrast to the emotional turmoil of their present situation.
However, even during this period of happiness, there are subtle hints of the underlying insecurities that will eventually lead to their downfall. Wynn, despite his outward confidence, still struggles with feelings of inadequacy comparing himself to Parth's success. Harriet, driven by her ambitions, sometimes struggles to fully understand and meet Wynn's emotional needs.
It's those unspoken needs and anxieties that slowly chip away at their foundation, setting the stage for their eventual implosion. And then, seemingly out of the blue, their relationship falls apart.
We're still kept in the dark about the specific details, but the fallout is devastating.
Yeah.
They stop talking, their friend group is left reeling, and the once vibrant connection they shared is reduced to fractured memories and unspoken resentment.
And now back in the present, we see Harriet and Wynn grappling with the aftermath of their explosive confrontation in the bathroom. They've admitted their lingering feelings, but they're also faced with the pain of their past and the uncertainty of their future.
The tension is palpable as they navigate the delicate balance between friendship and something more. And just when you think they might be inching towards reconciliation, Harriet makes a startling discovery.
Oh, what's that?
She's in the kids' room of the cottage, surrounded by the remnants of their shared past, and that's when she breaks down. Overwhelmed by guilt and regret, she finally reviews the truth behind Wynn's accusations about seeing her with another guy in San Francisco.
Oh, so that's what happened.
It turns out that the night Wynn saw her with someone else, Harriet had just received devastating news. Her residency application to a prestigious program had been rejected. She wasn't cheating on him,
Wow.
but she was seeking solace and distraction in a moment of profound disappointment.
It's a classic case of miscommunication and the destructive power of assumptions. Wynn, already feeling insecure, jumped to conclusions, misinterpreting Harriet's actions and allowing his fears to cloud his judgment.
What's heartbreaking is that both Harriet and Wynn were struggling with similar anxieties: the pressure to succeed, the fear of disappointing their families, and the difficulty of balancing personal desires with external expectations. They needed each other's support more than ever, but instead they retreated into themselves, allowing their insecurities to fester and ultimately sabotage their relationship.
It's a painful reminder of how easily misunderstandings can escalate when we fail to communicate openly and honestly with the people we love.
And as Harriet reveals her truth, Wynn admits that he never truly believes she cheated on him. But he was so hurt and angry at the time that he needed a reason to justify his pain. He admits that seeing her with someone else triggered a wave of jealousy, confirming that his feelings for her never truly faded.
It's a raw and vulnerable moment where they finally start to peel back the layers of hurt and resentment, revealing the depth of their love and the pain they both endured.
And as their emotions reach a boiling point, they find themselves back in each other's arms, caught in a passionate embrace that erases for a fleeting moment the pain of their past. It's a reminder that even amidst the wreckage of a broken relationship, passion can reignite, defying logic and whispering promises of a second chance.
But the morning after reality sets in, Wynn packs his bags, determined to return to Montana and the life he's built there. Harriet is heartbroken but resigned, accepting that their paths are diverging once again.
This parting scene underscores the central conflict of the book, the struggle between following your heart and doing what you believe is right. Wynn feels a sense of duty towards his family and the life he's creating in Montana, while Harriet is torn between her own ambitions and the yearning for a future with him.
It's like they're both trapped between the weight of expectations and the pull of their hearts, unsure of which path to choose. And just as Wynn is about to leave, Harriet makes a bold decision. She tells him that she's considering moving to Montana, following him to the place where he seems to have found happiness and purpose.
This declaration is a huge step for Harriet. She's finally acknowledging her own desires, putting her happiness on the line for a chance at a future with Wynn. But Wynn's reaction is surprising. He tells her not to follow him, that he won't be enough to fulfill her dreams. He believes that Harriet needs to forge her own path to find her own happy place, rather than simply following in his footsteps.
It's a selfless act on Wynn's part, but it also highlights his lingering insecurities. He doesn't want Harriet to sacrifice her dreams for him, even though it breaks his heart to let her go.
The book really delves into the complexities of self-love and sacrifice in this moment. Can true happiness be found by following someone else's path, Or does it require carving out your own unique journey, even if it means saying goodbye to the person you love? It's a question that both Harriet and Wynne are grappling with as they say their goodbyes.
Their future is uncertain, but there's a glimmer of hope in their final moments together. They share a tender kiss, a silent promise that their story isn't over just yet.
And as Wynne drives away, Harriet makes a surprising discovery. She finds a message from her sister Eloise, checking in on her breakdown. Eloise reveals that their mom is convinced Harriet is having a breakdown, prompting Harriet to reflect on her relationship with her family and realize that she's been prioritizing their expectations over her own happiness for far too long.
It's a light bulb moment for Harriet.
Yeah.
She realizes that she needs to start living for herself, making choices that align with her own desires, not just the dreams that others have projected onto her.
Exactly. It's no longer about finding a happy place that already exists. It's about creating one for herself on her own terms. This newfound clarity empowers her to confront her fears, step outside of her comfort zone, and finally pursue what truly matters to her.
And so she makes a life-changing decision. She books a flight to Montana, not to follow Wynne, but to explore the possibilities that await her there. She's finally choosing herself, embracing the unknown with a newfound sense of courage and determination.
This act of defiance is both exhilarating and terrifying. Harriet is stepping into uncharted territory, leaving behind the familiar comforts of her old life for a chance at something more authentic and fulfilling. It's a testament to the transformative power of self-discovery and the courage it takes to break free from expectations.
So we've followed Harriet and Wynne from their first meeting at that charming Maine cottage to the depths of their breakup and the tentative steps they take towards a possible future together. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Their journey is full of twists and turns, moments of intense joy and heartbreaking disappointment. And it seems like you picked up on something that often intrigues readers of this book.
You're talking about the mystery surrounding their breakup,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
We get hints, we see the emotional fallout, but the exact catalyst for their separation remains elusive for a good chunk of the story.
Exactly. Emily Henry masterfully keeps us in suspense, constantly guessing and reinterpreting events as new information surfaces. It's like a puzzle where the missing piece holds the key to understanding the heart of their relationship.
And it's not until the very end, during their final conversation at Wynne's pottery studio in Montana, that all the pieces finally click into place. Harriet, overwhelmed by the fear of repeating past mistakes, breaks down and reveals the truth behind Wynne's accusation.
Remember that incident Wynne mentioned seeing Harriet with another man in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that Harriet had just received devastating news about her residency application. It had been rejected. She wasn't celebrating a new romance. She was seeking solace and distraction from a crushing disappointment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a classic case of miscommunication and the power of unspoken fears. Wynne, already feeling insecure about their long-distance relationship and his own perceived lack of success, jumped to the wrong conclusion. And Harriet, in a moment of vulnerability, didn't have the emotional strength to clarify the situation.
What's particularly poignant is that both Harriet and Wynne were wrestling with similar anxieties: the pressure to succeed, the fear of letting down their families, and the difficulty of balancing personal desires with external expectations. They needed each other's support more than ever, but their insecurities and inability to communicate effectively drove a wedge between them.
It's a reminder that even the strongest relationships can be fragile, susceptible to the corrosive effects of unspoken fears and misinterpretations.
And what's beautiful about the ending is that both Harriet and Wynne come to realize this. They acknowledge their mistakes, their role in the breakdown of their communication. The pottery studio, where they finally have this honest conversation, becomes a symbol of their shared journey, a place where they can shed the weight of their past and rebuild their connection on a foundation of truth and vulnerability.
They choose to forgive themselves and each other, allowing their love to blossom anew in the midst of the Montana landscape. They've learned from their mistakes, grown as individuals, and rediscovered the depth of their connection.
And ultimately, that's the message that resonates long after you finish reading Happy Place. It's a reminder that happiness isn't about finding a perfect preordained destination. It's about embracing the detours, the messy imperfections, and the courage to create your own version of a happy place, both within yourself and alongside someone who truly sees and appreciates you for who you are.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Happy Place. We've covered a lot of ground first meetings, stolen kisses, painful breakups, and the tentative steps toward a brighter future.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring the intricacies of love, friendship, and the importance of self-discovery. Emily Henry's novel reminds us that even amidst heartache and uncertainty, there's always hope for a happy ending. however unconventional it may be.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge. Spread the word.